social weather station survey shows majority of Filipinos are still satisfied with President Rodrigo Duterte's performance as the country's chief executive. 75% of respondents said they are satisfied with Duterte's performance, 12% are undecided, and 12% are dissatisfied. This translates to a net satisfaction rating of positive 63 or very good. Duterte also got a positive 63 net satisfaction rating in a December 2016 survey. The president's rating in Luzon excluding Metro Manila dropped 9 points to positive 51 from positive 60, but this was offset by a 13-point gain in Mindanao or positive 87 from positive 74. A Pulse Asia survey shows economic issues remain the top concern of Class D and E, while its criminality for Class A, B, and C. At the top of the national list are increasing the pay of workers at 43%, controlling inflation at 41%, and job creation at 39%. Concerns about law and order followed, including fighting graft and corruption at 31% and fighting crime at 28%. Another cluster of national concerns include peace at 18%, enforcing rule of law at 16%, and the environment at 15%. The survey showed the majority of Filipinos approve of the government's fight against criminality, with a positive 74 net approval rating. Pulse Asia notes that the responses were largely comparable to the results of the December 2016 survey, except that there is greater concern over inflation and job creation in the latest survey. The Duterte government is seen as falling short in job creation, workers' wages, reducing poverty, and controlling inflation, which are among the biggest concerns of citizens. The Court of Appeals affirms a trial court ruling that declared United States Marine Joseph Pemberton guilty of homicide for the death of Filipina transgender Jennifer Laude 3 years ago. The CA also upholds the award of loss of earning capacity to the heirs of Laude, amounting to 4.32 million pesos, as well as exemplary damages of 30,000 pesos. The court increases the civil indemnity and moral damages awarded to Laude's heirs from 50,000 pesos to 75,000 pesos. The CA also rejects Pemberton's claim of self-defense in killing Laude because there's no physical evidence to suggest Pemberton was hurt by Laude or that he was in grave danger before the transgender's death. Laude's death in 2014 reignited anti-American sentiment in the Philippines and renewed concerns over the extent of an agreement that allows U.S. military forces to make regular visits to the country. In December 2015, the Olongapo City Regional Trial Court found Pemberton guilty beyond reasonable doubt of homicide in the death of Laude, sentencing him to a maximum of 10 years in jail. Pemberton remains detained in a US-owned air-conditioned van in Camp Aguinaldo, the Philippine military's headquarters. The CA agrees with the trial court that Pemberton's detention at Camp Aguinaldo should be credited to his jail time. The Kuwait government cancels the passport of Hussein Al-Dhafiri, a bombmaker who was arrested in Taguig in March and has alleged links to ISIS. The Embassy of Kuwait, in a letter to the Foreign Affairs Department, confirms Al-Dhafiri was involved with ISIS and was planning an attack against Kuwait. The Justice Department and the Bureau of Immigration earlier said intelligence reports said Al-Dhafiri was planning an attack, but it was not clear whether the attack would be in Kuwait or in the Philippines. Kuwait says it has issued temporary travel documents for the deportation and custody transfer of Al-Dhafiri, who is detained at the Armed Forces of the Philippines Custodial Center. Al-Dhafiri was arrested at the upscale Bonifacio Global City on March 25 in an entrapment operation by the BI Fugitive Search Unit. He was arrested along with his supposed wife, Syrian national Rahaf Zina. Al-Dhafiri was able to enter the Philippines thrice, the latest being on January 28. BI said they are investigating a recruitment firm called Q8 for sponsoring Al-Dhafiri's work visa to the Philippines. The United States on Sunday warns Russia that any more chemical attacks by the Syrian regime would be very damaging to their relationship, and suggests there can be no peace while President Bashar al-Assad remains in power. This before U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson meets Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Tuesday in Moscow. It will be their first face-to-face encounter since U.S. cruise missiles slammed into a Syrian airbase early Friday, in retaliation for a suspected sarin gas attack on April 4 that killed at least 87 civilians in a rebel-held Syrian town. Tillerson, in a television interview, says the chemical attack was preceded by 2 others in March. The presence of Russian advisors in the airfield where the attack was launched raised questions about how they could not have known about Syria's chemical weapons. Tillerson stopped short of accusing the Russians of complicity. He says, quote, "But clearly they've been incompetent, and perhaps they've just simply been outmaneuvered by the Syrians."